Hey, you guys doing? Flexinja here. Welcome to my ultimate Valorant Skin Tier List, if you want to call it that. I'm going to go through 5 lists real quick. So basically, I'm going to make a tier list of Sheriff skins, Knife skins, Vandal skins, Phantom skins, and Operator skins. So without any hesitation, I'm going to get right into it. So, the Aristocrat Sheriff, I think this is a B tier skin. I like the shape of the Sheriff. It's pretty unique, but it's a default Sheriff. It just makes default sounds. So I think this is pretty fair to put in B tier. Jet Sheriff, I think this is, for a Agent Sheriff, it's pretty clean. I don't think it's A tier worthy, but it's definitely B tier worthy. Minima Sheriff, trash. So the K-Tech Sheriff, the new one for the Battle Pass, I think it's really clean, and you get this right when you get the Battle Pass, so I'm going to drop this in A tier here. The Polyfrog Sheriff, I actually kind of like this Sheriff, not going to lie. The green-red is kind of nice, kind of funky, but I don't think it's good enough to be... I'll put it in C tier because I don't think it's comparable to the minimal one. Reaver Sheriff, S tier, easy S tier, no cap. Probably, it's definitely top 3 Sheriff skins in the game for sure, so I'm going to drop it in the S tier category. Ronin Sheriff, this was in the beta, you can't get this in actual live servers right now. I'm going to drop this in B tier because I do like the color scheme of it. The red and gold look really nice. I like the handle a lot. So we get the Silvanus Sheriff next. That ain't it, Chief. These skins ain't it. Convict Sheriff, I think this is a C tier skin. I think it's pretty clean. I wouldn't put it in the Minima or Silvanus category here. Okay, we get the Yaru Sheriff. I'm going to place it in B tier. I think it's not comparable to the K-Tech because it's so clean. I think the Yaru Sheriff is probably one of the cleaner Agent Sheriff skins, but I'll put it in B nonetheless. Ion Sheriff, probably the best Sheriff... Probably the best Sheriff skin in the game. It is the best. It gives you aimbot, 100%. S tier. We get the Light Wave Sheriff, D tier. I think it looks pretty ugly. It's a Battle Pass skin, and it's not that great. We got the Galaxy Fortnite skin here. I'm going to put this in C tier. It's a default Sheriff, but it's not comparable to the Minima, so I put it into that category. We get the Brimstone Sheriff skin. I think it looks pretty clean. I don't like the color scheme too much, but nonetheless, I think it's clean. C tier. Not comparable to the Minima Sheriff. I don't like the Minima Sheriff. Polyfrog. I'm even going to put this in the C tier because I've used it in the past. I kind of like it. Not comparable to the Minima Sheriff. Again, I just don't like it. Prism 2 Sheriff. Not a big fan of the Prism 2, the red, pink metal here. I just don't think it looks that clean, so I'm going to put it in the D tier. Sova Sheriff, I think this is one of the cleaner Sheriffs in the game for a default reskin Sheriff. I'm going to put it in A tier because I like the handle a lot, the brown taping on the handle. And overall, definitely the cleanest Agent Sheriff out there. Sakura Sheriff, A tier. Big fan of the Sakura skins. Very, very, cheap and just overall really good skins. Singularity Sheriff, S tier. I think it's beautiful. It sounds good. The headshots, when you get headshots with it, sounds amazing. The finisher is amazing. And overall, love the concept of it. The reload is really sick. Surge Sheriff, D tier. I don't think it's that great. And lastly, a lot of you guys are going to disagree with this. I think the Wasteland Sheriff is probably a tier skin. I like the Wasteland theme. The scrappy skin style kind of reminded me of games like Fallout or like Rust or something like along those lines, and I think is perfect. So that pretty much wraps up my Sheriff tier list here. Next up, we have the Phantom tier list here. BlastX Phantom, A tier. I love the theme and I love the concept of it. I actually never bought it, but I think it's an A tier skin. Reyna Anime Phantom, B tier. Love the color combo of it. It looks really clean for a recolored default skin. Overall, I think it's B tier. Galleria Phantom, D tier. It's really bland. Kingdom Phantom, I'm going to put in D tier. It's kind of defaulty. Lightwave Phantom, used it once, never going to use it again. Minima Phantom, I hate the Minima skins. I'm going to put it in D tier. I actually like minimalistic, but why would you ever use this? Prime Phantom, first S skin in the tier list here. Absolutely love the way that it feels, the way that it shoots, gives you aimbot. It has a really cool finisher, and the chromas for it, the colors are really, really well done. Rush Phantom, I think it's underrated. I'm going to put it B tier. Some might put it in C. But overall, I actually really like the color combo on it. First C tier skin, Serenity Phantom. I think it's pretty clean. It's not quite a D tier skin, so I'll place it in C. Silvanus, boom. That's all I had to say is Silvanus, D tier. Smite's Phantom, D. Spline Phantom. I like I actually like how unique this is in terms of like the shape of it with the lines, but I think it's pretty ugly, and I don't think I want to put it in A tier just because it doesn't have any effects. The color, the chromas for it, pretty cool. So I'm gonna place it in B tier. Avalanche Phantom, I like the barrel change, like how it matches the body. I think that's the nicest touch for it, and that's why I'm gonna place it in C tier. Some might argue that this is an S tier skin, the Glitchpop Phantom, but I'm gonna place it in A tier. Don't like how it looks compared to the other S tier skins, and I don't like how it feels. Infinity Phantom, I think it's cleaner than D. I'm placing it in C. I like the color variations for it. The pink one is especially my favorite, so I'm gonna place it in C. Ion Phantom. This one actually just straight up gives you aimbot. Love the finisher, love the shape, love the sound. Everything about it is amazing. Nebula Phantom, I'll place it in C tier, not quite D tier, minimal level. So yeah. Oni Phantom, easily my favorite Phantom skin in the entire game. I love the Oni skin line so much. It is the best Valorant's ever released, and I'm placing it in S. I think this is easily my favorite Phantom skin. I'll place it right here first, since it's my favorite. We got the Prism Phantom. I think it's pretty clean. It's kind of similar to the Avalanche in terms of, you know, the barrel color is the same as the body, and I like that touch a lot for a pretty clean recolored Phantom skin. So C tier. We have the Singularity Phantom. I don't think it's quite S tier. I'm placing it in A tier here. I love how it feels, and I love the way that it sounds. I love the reload and everything about it. I just don't think it's quite S tier. We have the Winter Phantom skin. I think I used it once after I bought the bundle, and I never used it again, so I'm going to give it a D tier. And we have an underrated Phantom skin here. I think this is really, really underrated. My crazy mind wants to put it in A, but I think it's a B tier skin. I still use this skin here and there. I think it's really clean. I love the golden glow and the movement on the skin design. So I think it's underrated, B tier. And that pretty much wraps up my Phantom tier list. So moving along to the Vandal tier list here, we have the Avalanche Vandal to start it off. I'm putting it in C tier. I think there's far worse options here, such as the Tethered Realms Vandal. I don't like green screen skins at all, so this is an easy D for me. Same with the Depths Vandal, not a big fan of it, D tier. Ego Vandal, B. I think it's really clean, not quite an A tier skin, but it's overall a really clean skin. Cavalier Vandal, I think it looks cool, you know, in the picture, but in game it doesn't look as cool. I'm putting it in C tier. It's not quite D tier. First, S tier skin, easily one of the best Vandal skins in the game. The Prime Vandal, super classy. I love the finisher, and it just overall very clean to shoot. It gives you aimbot. Aristocrat Vandal, I think it's C tier. Don't think it's a D tier skin, and I don't think it's B tier. I'm gonna stick it in C. I think it's really, really fancy. Forsaken Vandal, we have it in the A tier. Some might argue that's an S tier skin. I love the finisher, just don't like how it shoots compared to other Vandal skins. K-Tac Vandal, easily the cleanest Battle Pass skin we've ever gotten so far. The K-Tac skins, really, really clean design. Love it. For a default skin, A tier easily. Origin Vandal, I love the white and gold version of the Origin Vandal. Super clean. Super clean. S tier. I love how it sounds. And overall, big fan of the Origin Vandal here. Ruin Vandal, this kind of reminds me of a fancy pirate theme, you know. I think it's B tier. I think it's clean for a Battle Pass skin. Not quite C tier. I'm sticking it right in B. Sakura skin, overall, really, really clean for its price. I'm going to stick in A tier. I absolutely love the Sakura designs. I've used it a lot, and I still use it to this day, here and there. A tier. Silvanus, yeah, D tier. .exe Vandal, I think this is pretty clean. I'm sticking C. It's not quite Silvanus level, so I'm sticking C. We have the Elderflame Vandal. Some might argue that this is an S tier skin, but in terms of clean, like just a clean overall Vandal design, I think it's a little bit messy. I love this skin so much, though. I love how it sounds in the finisher. I think it's A tier, though. I don't think it's compared to like Prime or Origin. Glitchpop, some might disagree with this as well. I think it's an A tier skin. I dislike how it shoots, and I dislike how it feels. I'd actually go as far as put it in B tier, but in terms of what the community might think, I think it's more A tier, just because, you know, the effects and whatnot. Hivemind Vandal, I think it's kind of ugly, but it's also not bad. but it's kind of ugly, so I'm putting D tier. We have the Horizon Vandal here. I actually think this is pretty underrated. I kind of like this skin. I'm going to stick it in B tier because it's something I still use to this day. I think it looks cool with certain gun buddies. We have the Prism 2 Vandal. I think this doesn't look too bad. I think I'd stick it in C. It's not the worst. I kind of like how it looks. Third S tier skin here, we get the Reaver Vandal. I think the Reaver Vandal is my favorite Vandal in the game. Just love how it feels. Since I main Omen, the theme of it is just perfect for him. I love the finisher. Love how it sounds. S tier. Think it's a sensational Vandal. Easy D tier. I think it just looks horrific. I think it looks awful. Wasteland Vandal. A lot of people are going to disagree with this. Actually, in terms of like what people might think, I'm going to put it in... No, I don't care what people think. I think it's A tier. I love the Wasteland skin line so much because I just love the scrappy look to him. I think it's A tier. Every time I use it, I pull off crazy clips. It's aimbot. It's basically your default reskinned Vandal aimbot instead of the Prime. We get the Winter Vandal D tier and the Luxe Vandal D tier. So that pretty much wraps up my Vandal tier list right there. So moving along to the 4 tier list, the operators. I think the Forsaken op is an A tier. I don't think it's as clean as the other S tier options here. So I'm placing it in A. Infantry op. I actually think this is a B tier just because of the theme and the concept. I think they could have done more with this op, and I do like the World War skin, so I'm placing it in B tier. So the first S tier skin, we have the Ion Operator. Super clean, probably the cleanest operator skin in the game. Sounds really good, and also, I think it's just clean. It's just clean. K-Tac op, I think all K-Tac skins, I think the community agrees on that they're pretty much all A tier because just how clean they are, especially for Battle Pass skins. Cavalier op, I think it's C tier because of the shape and just how unique it is compared to, you know, just a normal default op. Compared to the other options, that is. Origin op, I think it's S tier. I think the white and gold version of it is amazing. It's like angelic. I love it. And the inspect is also amazing as well. So S tier, Origin. Silvanus, that's all I had to say. D tier. Air Soul op, I think this is a C tier skin. I don't think it's quite as bad as the Silvanus, and I do like the graffiti style and the color scheme of it, so I'm gonna place it in C. Convex op, I'll place it in D tier. Not a big fan of it. I do have it, but I'm not a big fan of it at all. Ronin op, it's not even in the game, but I do like the red and the golden color scheme of it. I'm gonna place it in C tier. This was in the beta for those that didn't know. Elderflame, I don't think this is actually a really clean op, so I'm going to place it in A tier. Some people are going to disagree and think it's S tier, but in terms of like how clean it is as a skin, I'm going to place it in A. It sounds really badass, and I love it, but it's not quite an S tier skin. Glitchpop operator, I'm going to place A tier. Not a big fan of the Glitchpop. I do like the how it sounds, and I do like the vibrant colors, but I'm not going to put it in S tier just because I don't think it belongs in S tier. We have the gun operator or the gravitational operator. I actually think this design, the concept, and the theme of the whole space operator is really, really cool. However, I never bought this. I should have stated that I don't op a lot, so I just never bought it. But I do think it's really, really clean. So I'm placing it in A tier. Luxe op, easy D tier. I think it's pretty ugly. Minima, don't like the Minima skins. I think it just... Why use it when there's other skins like the Ion op? We have the Prism operator here. I think it's pretty clean. It's cleaner than the Minima for sure. C tier. Reaver op. This is the third S tier skin. I think the Reaver op is my favorite, the white and black, just because I play Omen too. It's just the Reaver matches Omen's personality so well, and it probably sounds the most badass in terms of operator, and I love the reload, so I'm going to place it in S tier. We have the Spline op. I think this is a B tier skin. I like the color variations for it, and I do like the design of it with the lines through it. So moving along, we have the what is this? The Red Alert op. I think it's pretty clean for a Battle Pass skin, so I'm gonna place it in the C tier. I think it's clean, definitely cleaner than a D tier skin. And the Tethered Realms, do I even have to go further? It's a D tier skin. Green screen skins suck. So that pretty much wraps up the operator tier list. Last but not least, we had the melee tier list. I'm going to speed run this real quick. So the Ruin Dagger, S tier. Animations are amazing. This knife is super clean. Primax, B tier. I think it was really cool when it first came out, but there's just better options now. The Reaver Dagger, it's like an Omen themed dagger. It's pretty dope. It's not cool enough to be S tier though. BlastX Box Cutter, B tier. The theme's really cool. I never bought it myself just because I don't think I'd use it much. Anime Jet Knife makes me feel really cool when I use it. Makes me feel like an anime character on Omen. A tier. We get the Forsaken Dagger, kind of similar to the Reaver Dagger. Not enough to be an S tier, but it's really cool. A tier. We get the Glitchpop Axe. I actually think this is pretty ugly and the takeout animation's awful. We're going to place it in the C tier. We have the Glitchpop Dagger in S tier. One of the cleanest knives in the game. The community probably agrees with that. I absolutely love everything about this knife. So, S tier. The Baton, I think this is a C tier knife. I don't like the polo animation too much, and I never bought it myself, but it's not enough to be a D tier. Melee. We have the fan, the Celestial fan, probably one of my personal favorites. I'm going to place this in A tier. Every time I use it, I just own. I absolutely love everything about it. The inspect is really clean. Smite knife, D tier, self-explanatory. Hivemind sword has a cool little flip, and it's not too bad looking. I'm going to place it in C tier. Ronin knife, this isn't even in the game, this is a beta knife, but the design of it's so clean, and the takeout animation is just a default. I'm going to place it in C tier. If it was still in the game, C tier for sure. K-Tac blade, A tier. Like I said, all K-Tac is A tier. Very clean skins. Kingdom and Nebula knife, D tier easily. Oni Claw, probably an unpopular opinion, but this is an S tier skin for me. I absolutely love everything about it. Every time I use it, I probably own the most. And I just love the color scheme, and I just love the Oni, themed skins. Just absolutely love it. We get the Origin Crescent Blade thing. I'm gonna place the A tier. At first, I didn't like this, and I didn't think I'd like it. But the more I used it, I think it's A tier. I don't think it's enough to be S tier, but definitely an A tier skin. We got the Screwdriver or Outpost knife. I'm gonna place it D tier. Although it has a different shape than a normal knife, it's kind of boring. The colors are kind of boring and D tier. We get the Prism 3 axe. I think this is C tier. You can make it into a pink variant, which is really cool, and that's why I placed it C. Magepunk knife. I'm gonna place it B. I like the takeout animation. I think it's really clean, and I think it's above a C tier with that. With that said, Song Steel blade. I think this is a C tier because it has a flip animation for the takeout. Not quite a D tier skin. We get the sword or the the dual wield. I think this is A tier because I absolutely love just swinging around with the dual swords, and overall, I like it. It makes me feel like a badass when I have a dual wield out. Ego knife, D tier. Very boring. I think although it does kind of look clean, it's a very boring knife to have. Elderflame dagger. I think this is an A tier. In my personal opinion, I don't think it's S tier. I think there could be more with it to make it S tier, but overall, a very clean A tier dagger here. I like the flame animations. I never actually got the Ion Energy Sword, aka the bike seat, if you want to call it that. I think this is B tier at best. Anything above B tier, shame on you. Because I just don't think it's that clean, really. So the Luxe knife, I think this D tier. It's pretty ugly in my opinion. The Prime Karambit, I upgraded my Karambit, unfortunately, making it into a D tier knife. But if you didn't upgrade it and you actually have the good animation, I'd actually put it in A tier since it's the only Karambit in the game. Not enough to be S tier, but not shitty enough to be B tier. What is this? The Prism knife, D tier easily. Singularity knife, I think this is C tier. They could have done more with this knife. Actually, I'm going to place it in D tier. I've actually never really used it. The reason why I placed it in D tier is they could have done so much more with this knife, but it's just a basic pull-out animation, and it's really disappointing. So, we'll place it in D. We get the Sovereign Sword. I think this is, in my personal opinion, I think it's S tier. I love the Sovereign Sword pull-out. I think it's overall one of the cleanest knives in the game. Absolutely love it, and I use it a lot. So, Spline dagger, I think it's C tier. It's not boring enough to put in D tier, no, I'll put it in D tier. I think it's boring. I never bought it. I lied to you guys. We get the candy cane. I actually do like the candy cane. I'm gonna place it in B tier because I like having a candy cane in any game as a melee weapon just feels right. So I'm gonna place it in B tier, and I actually still use it to this day. And you can also break it, and if you use it on stream, your chat's gonna say, "Hey, did you know you could break that candy cane 10,000 times over?" So that wraps up my melee tier list, and that wraps up the entire ultimate tier list guide here, if you want to call it a guide. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully you guys agree. If you guys don't agree with anything, comment down below what you guys think, what should be changed for each tier list. So yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.